Hello everyone. This video is specifically only for elite programmers on Facebook and whoever is a part of my app group. I'm going to be showing off Dark Basic Pro for a few reasons. One, it's an easy, fun, and amazingly, in a way, very complex in how much you can do with it. Not complex like it's hard to do, don't get me wrong, any programming language when you first start out is hard, but this is supposed to be for beginners and for people who want to do stuff that teams of people do with C++ or Java, but doesn't half the time with only yourself. The only problem is, of course, is the media, and that usually takes the most, but if you have a person doing the media and you're the programmer, this will save your life. Now, I will admit, on the other side of the argument for Dark Basic, there are a few things. First of all, Dark Basic only runs on PC, which isn't too much of a problem. Just no consoles or anything like that. Oh yeah, another thing I have to say, sorry for the for not having on-screen recording, but I'm using my laptop for this one, so I'm just doing my iPhone, but it should still be able to do HD video. So anyways, the other drawbacks is that 32-bit it only supports 32-bit. It can run on a 64-bit operating system, no problem, but it'll only use up 4 gigabytes of your RAM basically. But anyways, this programming language is a extremely high-level programming language. It's based off of the C++ ANSI compiler, basically, so it still runs really good. We got a couple commands here. We have, let's go to the very top and go down. Visual Basic is not object-oriented programming, but there is a object-oriented programming version which is called GDK. It's just a library you import into C++ and has all the exact same commands, so it's very fun. I got a couple expansion packs on here that I had to pay. Oops, sorry about that. That I had to pay, so you won't get all these commands if you download it right away. It's free online. If you want the commercial version, which just exact same thing as a free thing, but basically gives you the right to sell this stuff. I kind of forgot. I think it was $100, similar to the AGK software I use for my app development, which can run in basically any device. But anyways, we start out with the sync on sync rate 60. That means that the program will be going 60 frames per second, and the sync on basically means, okay, I want the updating on. There's the set display mode, desktop width, desktop height, and 32. Set display mode is basically setting your resolution for the screen. Desktop width gets how wide your screen is, and desktop height gets how tall your screen is, pixel wise. And then 32 is your color depth. And we move on to make object sphere 110. The 1 is the identification number for the 3D object, and 10 is the actual size of the sphere. Position object 1, which referencing to the sphere object, at X, Y, and Z 100, 100, 100. That basically just positions it, and I figured I might as well show off a little bit with the different commands here that I thought was kind of cool. There is dang, I hate holding this. The file $sign is basically meaning that it's a string. I know a lot of you who do Java and C++ are probably clueless out of your mind of what this is. Some of you may not. If so, great, then you can understand it better. The file $sign means it's a string. In Dark Basic, we do not initialize variables. Just whenever you want to initialize a variable, just do the variable name equals variable name, or variable name equals this or that, or like, for example, let me just type it in and give an example. If I want to do t as a variable, just do that. Do I want t to be a float or a double? Just do that. Do I want t to be a string? I just do that. And that initializes the variable basically. But anyways, back to here. Open file dialog basically means that, it's a little hard to explain by words, but it basically opens up a dialog box. Basically, when you're saving a file from a Word document or something like that, when you save it, there's like this big box that pops up and you go to desktop, my computer, or removable data to save or open a file. Well, there is a save file dialog and there's an open file dialog, and it outputs a string, the directory string of which file or folder you selected to save or open. And you can use further commands like open to write, open to read, delete files, so on and so forth for saving data and everything. This just makes it a lot easier to actually store and select your data. I'm going to show you later on. And send voice message, hello and welcome back to the game, enables Microsoft SAM or whatever program, text-to-speech program you have on your PC will say that, basically. That's all it really is. I'm not really good with this camera. Make file, I guess you can understand what that means. Delete file, kind of similar. Set net connection, set your IP connection, so when you're doing multiplayer servers or clients or whatever, you can actually set your IP address to that computer. 3 means the type of connection, if you have a modem or TCP, UDP, stuff like that. FTP connect means that you could connect to FTP servers. There is also there are HTTP commands also. I never really use them, to be truthful, but it's where you can actually take the source code of a website or get a file through the HTTP server instead of an FTP. So there's a boatload of network stuff on here, and I believe there's a boatload more, because I think Dark Basic with all the expansion packs have like more than 10,000 commands, and these are just so far like 10 I've shown you. It's really hard to memorize all of them, first of all. Anyways, there's an if command. If file exists object.3ds equals 1, then load object 4, which is the reference number for that object, and then the string is the file, basically. And then the other thing is, since a lot of you are seeing this are probably Java people, you know how to create a method, right? I'd hope so. Because you can actually create, in a way, methods in here, but they're called functions. Same as C++, that's why they named it a function. So I created my own little function called Parker's function, and a string saying hello. I will get to that in a second. Make matrix is basically just a grid. That's all it really is. Don't worry about these numbers. Basically, the idea of the matrix, X size, Y size, how many squares, stuff, it's nothing too much. You could texture these and stuff like that, but if you're going to make terrain or anything like that, you might as well do a terrain function instead of a matrix. Positions the matrix, and here's where the expansion pack comes. AI start. It's like literally one-line commands that can create artificial intelligence within objects. For example, AI add friendly, the reference to object 1, which was that sphere object way in the beginning of the code. You just set the AI identification and the object identification. And AI set entity speed is how fast you can move in the world. Make object sphere. This is a second sphere that is going to be placed right where your camera position is, so therefore when you do collide information like get object collision 1 and 2, it will tell you if you collided or not. Hide object 2 means that it's invisible, but it's still technically there. Position camera positions the camera, simple stuff. A do loop, control camera using arrow keys. The camera ID, your speed, and your turning speed. How easy can that be? In Java, I've worked with OpenGL. C++, I've worked with OpenGL, Ortho, Perspective, all that stuff. Trust me, this is a trillion times easier. I'm not trying to bash on Java and stuff like that. There are a lot of perks that come with it. That's why I still do Java. But whenever I want a really complex game, a really fun one, with only an hour or two for making it, this is what I use. Java takes me months. It took me a month just to figure out OpenGL. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm going to be using Java for my new AGK software so I could post that online, so it would be like a RuneScape type of thing. Awesome stuff. Java works faster than this, and C++ even works faster. Even though this is based on C++, and there is actually a few functions in Dark Basic where you could do multi-threading, which is not its native function or anything like that. But anyways, I'm just sticking with this. I want to show you this program anyways. Sorry for a huge delay, but I want to go through line what this is. AI update. Wait a second, I'm still up here. Right, no, I'm not. AI update basically updates the AI artificial intelligence networking system. Sync is for updating the whole entire program. You need a sync within a loop in order for anything to work. AI creates sound. This is a part of the AI expansion bundle that you can buy separately. It basically positions sound based on the X and Z coordinates, the type of sound, and the radius. So the camera position X and camera position Z is basically where the sound is positioned. The type is 0 or 1. I'm not going to get into that. Don't worry about it. The radius, you can understand that. And then position object 2, that was the object that's hidden. It's just positioned into the camera position just to reference collision data. If AI get entity heard sound 1, that is the sphere again. Don't forget about the reference number, equals 1, or AI get entity can see, basically. Now the one at the very end is for calculating if you're crouched or not, because you know in a lot of video games you're crouched for like sneaking and stuff like that. It's basically a variable to reference that. Let's move this up a little bit. So if both of those, if the AI can hear you and can see you, the AI will go to your position basically based on the X and Z coordinates. If object collision 1 and 2, 1 is the AI object that's following you, 2 is the object that is within the camera position. So this is why I created an object and position it right where you are, because the camera does not classify as anything but a way to see in the 3D world. So basically that if that is 1, then you'll randomly be teleported basically within a coordinates, and the R and D classifies random, so it would be 0 to 100 at a random number from position X, which is 100, Y is 100, and Z is 100, plus the random 100. Now again, this is what I was saying by initializing variables. Time equals time plus 1. If time is greater than 1000, then time is equal to 0. Say is equal to random, 0 through 4. If say is equal to 1, then the Microsoft SAM voice will say that and that and that. And if in loop. And that's basically the main program, but let's get to my function. All you have to do is you have to type in function, the name, and the input variables. Mine is a do loop. Oops, with a sync colon. That means you can do your program on one line. Input password. Now the input syntax is you have a message and you have a string that is returned. In this case it is pass $, which basically means it's a string. And if the password string is equal to the cool string, with if you can remember my function said hello, so if you type in hello within the password it will work. It will go to con, which is it will teleport to there. It's basically like in Java the break command, but it teleports you to a certain spot within the code, which I love a lot. It's my favorite function. It's go to and go sub. But anyways, if it doesn't, the program will basically say, oh, wrong program. But or password I meant. I'm going to compile this. I don't know if it works or not because I didn't really check it. It could say commands. Oh, stuff like that. So I don't really need that, so I'm going to delete that. Wait a second, let me go up here. I think nope, I don't. Okay. Can't do that. I don't know 100% of the syntax anymore because I use AGK all the time. Okay, this was what I was meaning. let me get it unfuzzy for you. This is the file open dialog command. It opens up this. You select whatever directory, folder, or, well, directory is a folder, but folder, file, whatever. It will return that directory string, and it will be used for stuff like opening up files, deleting, whatever. Get out of that. Here we are, and of course, my speaker didn't really say anything. So we have to input the password, which is hello. Since that was correct, there is the object. It's coming towards me because it can see me and hear me. But if I move away far enough, it won't detect me, and it'll just... Oh wait, it still is detecting you.
I am behind you. Maybe.
But this is the matrix under me. Wow, how in the heck? Oh, okay, finally. The little object is finally... Wait, is this still... No, it's going away from me. Okay, goody. See, if you're far away enough, it can't see you or hear you. But if I get close enough, slowly approaching. It's really, really slow.
I just want to be your friend.
That's supposedly the object. And when it hits you, bunk, you teleported somewhere else. Now, that's a interesting function.
I am coming for you.
So you could keep on moving within this three-dimensional world. The things that Dark Basic supports is shaders. It supports shaders, multiplayer.
I am coming for you.
Okay, be quiet. It can also support Lua. It can support C++. It's built onto C++, so you can build your own individual commands from C++, but I don't know why you would when there's 10,000 commands out there. It supports basically every single protocol out there. There's third-party commands that people have made for like Xbox controllers, printing out stuff, easy rotation. There's a thing called Dark Imposters. Dark Imposters makes it so that when you move away far enough from a 3D object, it turns into a sprite. It supports, Dark Basic supports 2D, 3D. It supports Dark Data, which creates databases and stuff like that that can be compatible with Microsoft and stuff like that. Supports XML. Supports a couple 3D object formats, supports music, sound, user input, multiplayer, single player. It can do LAN, or you could do massive server. Let me see, what else? There is multi-threading, anti-lacing, I don't know how to say that. A lot of graphic functions. You can control camera, field of view, stuff like that, just in one command. I've created several different programs here. You can place objects, you could pick objects from your mouse. Basically meaning like there's a 3D object way out there. I just move over and click on it and it'll give me the number of the 3D object. It's really cool. You can do quite a bit of stuff. Do your own research. Go on thegamecreators.com to see even more. If you hate Visual Basic, then download the GDK, which is Game Dark Kit or something like that. It's compatible with only C++ 2008 Express Microsoft Edition. You have to download also a DirectX SDK 2008 August download also. It's very nice. The C++ allows it so you can import C++ libraries. If anyone's interested, make sure you post something, subscribe, like to my stuff. Of course, if you haven't gone to Facebook and liked Parker's apps, do so. I'd really appreciate it. And yet again, if you're in the Elite Programmers group, you have questions, again, post. And I might be doing an OpenGL tutorial maybe later within the week, probably next weekend or something like that. So anyone that's with Java will definitely like that one. But for now, this is Dark Basic, and thank you for watching.